Hello everyone, it's Dan here from Thomas Road Support. In this video I'm just going to take you through using the advanced options, the advanced styling options within Pillar for WordPress. Now in the previous video we've just given a general overview of these advanced options. In this one we're going to actually give you an example of how to change the fonts themselves. I will reiterate that this whole area is for advanced users only. You may look at the options and scratch your head if they don't mean anything to you. That's perfectly fine. For 90% of users out there, we would recommend using the Easy Google Fonts plugin, which we've covered in a previous video. The options we're covering here are very much for advanced users who would like a slightly more granular level of control of their fonts, etc, etc. Anyway, we're going to get to the theme options to begin with. Let's do that by heading to Appearance and Customize in our WordPress dashboard. And within there you will see the Advanced Styling Settings area. And the bit we're going to be looking at in this video is this top section here for typography. Now, we've already given you a general idea of what this all means, but in this one we're going to give you a practical example of how it works and how you would change them. But just to reiterate, you've got the names of the fonts you wish to use here, so we've split them down to body font, heading font, buttons and navigation. And down here is the important part we're going to cover, which is the actual Google URL which the fonts are loaded from. So to begin with, we're going to change this, which is the most important part when replacing the fonts, and we're going to change this with our own custom fonts instead. So let's head over to Google, and I'm going to pick a couple of fonts to begin with. So I'm going to go for a different body font. Let's have a look what we've got. I suppose we should go with something slightly more obvious so you can see it there and then. Okay, cabin's quite nice, so I'm going to add that. And next up we'll pick a nice heading font, so let's go for something fairly thick and obvious. Let's go for Passion 1. It's got quite a few styles available to it, it should look okay. And we'll add that to the collection as well. So once you've selected your two fonts, or more I suppose if you want to go that way, you can hit this little tab here and you'll notice that there's only a couple of weights included. We're going to change that, so we'll have to go to Customize, and for the body font, which is cabin, we would like to have regular, which is fine. We'll also go for semi-bold and bold, and for the heading font, regular is also okay, but let's also add bold and black, which is very thick. Now the key part of all this, if we just pop back here, when we're replacing this part of the URL, you'll notice it's just one specific section of the URL which Google gives you. So for a practical example of what I mean by this, Google is offering this whole portion of code here. We don't need that. The bit we actually want is the bit that they bold for us. So right after it's got CSS question mark family equals, and you'll see it goes into bold here. We want to copy all of this right up until the closing quote mark, just like you can see here. Copy that to the clipboard and paste that in the area provided. And we're nearly done. What we need to do from there is actually pop the fonts into the various, the font names into the various fields above. So we're going to use cabin as our body font, so we will replace Laura with cabin. And we're going to use Passion 1 as our heading font, so we will just go ahead and pop that in there. Now it's very important to remember when you are doing this to remove any symbols in the font name. So where it's got Passion +1, which is fine for a URL but not for what we want, we need to just get rid of that, replace it with a space. We'll do the same there and there. So let's hit save and publish, and just so we can see the changes, I'll refresh the page. And there we go. You can see the font has now completely changed. If I just quickly switch to how it was originally, so let's look there, you can see the font was quite round, whereas this one's a little bit thinner, and then the text, the body font was a bit more traditional, and we've replaced that with our own, as you can see here. And there we go. Obviously from this point onwards we can continue to alter the sizes and weights and things as we want. We've covered that in the other video, so I won't repeat the process here. So yeah, I hope this video has been useful. Do you have any more questions about this process, then do come see me over at support. Other than that, thanks for watching.